Welcome back to another episode of JAFM Audio. We are here today with
James.
And I'm Frankie. And today we're going to be discussing Yankees and Mets pitching. We're going to get into starters, we're going to get into the bullpen, and we're going to get into closers. How do you want to begin?
We can start with the starting pitching.
I mean, sounds right to me.
Yeah, let's start with the top five starting pitching.
All right. How do you want to go through this? Do you want to compare starters and we're picking who would we rather have pitching?
First off, let me start by saying that I think both teams have pitching issues. I don't think they're going to be a guaranteed shoe in there with their pitching. Garrett Cole is probably the only sure thing on both teams. But I think there are a lot of issues on both starting staffs. So we can start off with the Yankees starting staff. We'll start off with Garrett Cole.
All right. I do agree with you. I think the Yankees have a lot of question marks with their starting rotation.
Agreed.
Garrett Cole, ace pitcher, Cy Young Award winner. Hopefully he can have another good season like that.
Yes.
15-4 record last year, 2.63 ERA, started 33 games, 222 strikeouts.
Yes.
Cy Young Award winning numbers. Can he repeat it this year?
He deserved it, and they better hope he repeats it, because if not, they're in trouble. That's my opinion. Rodon hasn't been good last year with the pinstripes.
Yeah.
Stroman's a newcomer. You know what Stroman's going to give you. He's a 500 guy. Nestor Cortez has had his injuries. How he's going to come back. Last year he wasn't so great. Last year he was 5-2 with a 4.97 high ERA. He started in 12 games, pitched 63 innings with 67 strikeouts. And I guess your number 5 guy would be Clark Schmidt.
Yes.
Right. So we'll see what we can get from him.
Now, there are a lot of question marks. I'm actually very supportive of Stroman. I think he's going to have a big year. For some reason, I don't know. Something tells me he's going to do good this year.
Yeah.
Cortez really hasn't impressed me in spring training. So, he's coming off of injury. Maybe he's still figuring things out.
Yeah.
But not looking too bright with him. A lot of question marks there. Clark Schmidt, hopefully he improves from last year. He had a 4.64 ERA, which can't win games like that.
It's not terrible. If he's your number 5 guy, it's not terrible. He started in 32 games last year, so he's going to take the ball every 5th day. I just don't know. A lot of people are saying the Yankees staff is great. Playoffs, here we come. World Series, here we come. Unless Soto and Judge can pitch, I'm not sure it's there. The starting staff doesn't impress me much.
That's a great point you made. I think this season we're going to rely a lot on offense with the new additions of the hitters, of Soto, Verdugo. I think we're going to rely on offense is going to have to win us a lot of games this year.
Yes.
Especially with the question marks in the pitching. Cole can only pitch but so many games.
Right.
Somebody needs to step up. We need a good number 2 guy at least.
Yeah.
Hopefully a dependable third. I think if we can have 3 solid pitches, I think we'll be okay.
The problem is where we're getting it from. What do you think? Rodon, last year he was 3-8 with a 6.85. He started 14 games, 64 innings pitched with 64 strikeouts. What do you think you guys are going to get from him? I mean, he needs to show himself right away. The first couple of starts in April.
Yeah, he really does.
Mm-hmm.
I think Rodon, I'll be honest, I'm not sure what to expect. He's a very up and down kind of guy. The last 2 seasons kind of down. Yeah. So maybe it's that time of the year where he's up this year.
Stroman's your number 3 guy. If he becomes your number 2 guy, I believe you guys have problems. Cortez will be in the 4 hole, I guess, and Clark Schmidt in the 5.
I don't think if he becomes our number 2 guy, we have problems.
All right,
I'm telling you, I don't know.
You like Stroman.
I think he's for real this time.
Okay.
We'll see.
We'll see what happens. Let's go on the other side of town, right?
Let's see. Let's go to Queens. What does Queens have going on?
So our number 1 guy who pitched in 29 games last year, he was 12-7 with a 2.78. He got some Cy Young votes as well. He didn't win the Cy Young, though. And he got some, I believe, Rookie of the Year votes also. Mm-hmm. And he's starting the year on the injured list.
Oh, yeah.
So that should be fun.
Mr. Kodai.
Yeah, but he should be our number 1 guy come late May, possibly.
What was that? You said the best Japanese pitcher in baseball right now?
Well, listen, Otani's not pitching. And Yamamoto got beat up last week. So right now, I got
Senga. Here, guys. The best Japanese pitcher in baseball
Kodai Senga
is on the Mets.
Yes.
Kodai Senga.
We got Severino, Manaya, Adrian Hauser.
Severino.
Yes.
Do you think he's gonna have a good year this year? He struggled a lot last year.
We need him to have a good year. He's a few years shy, removed from his 19-win season, I believe it was. So I'm counting on him. I'm hoping he can give us something.
You know, I really did like him on the Yankees. I feel like he had really one bad season, and then he went to the Mets.
Yeah.
I hope he does good. As a former Yankee, you know, I would like to see him, have a good year.
Just not better than the Yankees, right? You don't want him to do better than Rodon.
Yeah. I'll be happy if he pitches good.
Yeah.
As long as the rest of your staff doesn't pitch as good.
Yeah. So we have Quintana. He's a reliable starter if he can stay healthy. Last year pitched in 13 games to a 3.57.
Yeah, he had pitched 75 innings, had 60 strikeouts. Not a huge strikeout guy,
Right.
But hopefully he gives you guys solid innings.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to compare both teams like Mets Yankees, I think the Yankees are in better shape. But you know what's interesting? I took it upon myself to average up.
Here we go.
The starters last year, their ERA. And guess who had a lower team ERA from the starters? So the Mets had a 4.35 ERA last year. That's this year's starters. Last year had a 4.35 ERA compared to the Yankees 4.60. That's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, we did give you a guy 6.65 ERA and Luis Severino. That kind of ruined our average. That kind of ruined our average.
And that hurt our average.
You have him now. Carlos Rodon.
Yes.
Even worse, 6.85 ERA.
Yep.
I wouldn't look too deep into last year's stats. The Yankees were dealing with a lot of injuries.
Yeah.
Nestor Cortez went down.
Yeah.
I think this year is going to be a different year.
Yeah.
I think my predictions here, we will have a better ERA than the Mets this year.
Well,
How do you feel?
I'm not sure. I don't know. I mean, if Rodon pitches every 5 days, I think the Mets are looking good with the ERA.
We'll see. You guys don't have Senga for the probably maybe the first few games.
So hoping maybe
someone has to step up.
McGill will step up. Hopefully, we'll see. Let's go into the bullpen. The Yankees every year have a good bullpen.
Yeah, we have a pretty decent bullpen.
Yeah, you guys lost Michael King, right?
Yeah, that's
for Soto, right? But every year the Yankees seem to throw a good bullpen out there. So I don't know what it is, if it's the coaching or they just know how to pick, But every year they look good. Last year their bullpen ERA was 3.34. They were 35-30, compared to the Mets 26-36 with a 4.45 ERA.
Can't win games.
You're gonna
can't
lose,
win close games.
Yes, you're gonna lose
close games.
late in the games.
Yep.
You're gonna lose those games. So it remains to be seen. We'll see what happens.
Now, you guys did add a good arm in Jake Diekman. How do you think he'll play a role in it? You think he's going to be an effective relief guy? Do you think they're going to throw him a lot?
From every year it changes. Sometimes you find a diamond in a rough who comes out and he's unhittable, right? And then you have a guy who last year did well, and then he can't get any outs in the 7th inning. So, the bullpen's tough. It's hard. It's hard to predict what someone's going to give you. But the closer role, that's easy to predict with my man, Edwin Diaz. He's back.
He is back. Now, is he the same?
Be close to the same and I'll be happy.
Yeah, be close to the same. I mean, we'll see how he how does he return? I hope he does return back to that, Edwin Diaz before pre-injury.
Yes.
He was shutting things down
yes.
with the trumpets there in Citi Field.
I'm hoping on opening day, we have a 2-1 lead going into the 9th, and the trumpets come out, and Mr. Edwin Diaz strikes out the side. That would be fun. Now, who's closing on your end? Is it Clay Holmes?
Yes, we have Clay Holmes closing. He didn't do too bad last year, 2.86 ERA, 71 strikeouts and 63 innings pitched. So he is striking out multiple batters per inning, you could say.
Yeah.
Solid guy. He's no Edwin Diaz, but solid guy. Yeah.
Nobody is, that's for sure.
Solid guy. I think our closer, we're in a good spot with our closer. At least we have a, solid closer that we can go to and depend on.
Yeah, last year, what was it? Saved 24 saves last year. 63 innings pitched with 71 strikeouts. Yeah, throughout his career, 21 and 17 with a 3.84. He's not bad, so it's definitely someone you can rely on. But like I said, every year it changes.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll see how the bullpen goes. When we get late in games, are we gonna have close games?
Right.
Obviously, we'll have some close games. Who are we throwing in those close games?
Right.
Who are we throwing in blowout games?
Right.
Hopefully he can get a lot of saves.
Okay.
Secure some wins.
Right.
I'm not expecting like Mariano Rivera on the mound,
No.
but hopefully he can secure us these close games.
I like the Yankees starting pitching better than the Mets, although I believe both teams have a lot of trouble in the starting five. I'm telling you right now.
You keep saying that, but I
telling you.
don't. I don't know why. I just have a feeling the Yankees are gonna perform this year.
Nestor Cortez has to do something this year.
He's figuring it out.
Rodon has to do something this year.
He will.
Marcus Stroman, he's a career 500 pitcher. If he's your number 2, you guys are in trouble, right? He doesn't pitch well in Yankee Stadium.
How do you know?
The stats show it. Look up the stats.
He doesn't pitch well in Yankee Stadium as the away team.
Fair enough.
Home team advantage, home field advantage.
Fair enough.
He's gonna do good.
Okay, and you got Clark Schmidt, who's he's I don't want to call him a question mark. He looked good. He looked good last year.
I mean,
so I do believe the Mets have more question marks than Yankees. I believe.
Yeah.
I believe besides Kodai Senga, everybody else is pretty much a question mark. Can Quintana stay healthy? Can Savino get out of his own head and pitch well? Minaya last year or the year before I believe the Giants threw him into the bullpen because he wasn't figuring it out as a starter. Mm-hmm. So I do believe the Mets have more question marks than the Yankees, but I believe the Yankees have a lot of question marks and people are not talking about it enough.
Again, there are a lot of doubts with our bullpen. I agree, there's doubts. But sometimes you just got to keep the faith. I do believe we'll have to rely on our offense, as I said earlier.
Yes.
I think our offense is going to play a huge role. If our offense gets rolling, that's just going to, the chemistry, the momentum is going to carry on to the field.
Yeah.
And I think we'll be okay.
Yeah. So
I don't think either team is going to be like a top 5 pitching team in the league.
Right. Problem is if Rodon can't get out of the third inning without giving up 5. I mean, how can we? You can't every 5 days. That takes a toll on the bullpen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's only so much you can come from behind and win. And let's not even talk about playoffs. You get into the playoffs. You got good batters 1 through 9. They're gonna tee off on him. So you better hope Cortez gets back to what he was. You better hope Rodon gets back to what he was. Nestor Cortez, that remains to see if he's going to get back to what he once was. So I believe there's maybe 3 question marks on the Yankee staff. The Mets have 4. But I'll give the nod to the Yankees on the starting staff. Although we had a better... When you look at last year's starters' ERAs from both teams, the Mets have a lower ERA on this staff this year.
Yeah, again, you could blame that on Rodon and Severino, who we gave to you.
That's true.
So we'll see how it goes. Although Severino did look good spring training. I did see spring training. The Mets had the lowest ERA in spring training.
So far, every pitcher has looked good.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And you know who else looks good? Francisco Alvarez. Throwing runners out. When you throw a runner out, it helps the pitcher. He's throwing runners out, and then he's getting up hitting home runs. So I'm happy about that. He's looking well, but today's about pitching. The Yankees get the nod with the starting pitching. Honestly, I'm giving it to you guys because you have a true ace.
I think we get the nod starting pitching. Mm-hmm. I think we get the nod bullpen.
Yeah, I'll give you guys a nod.
Closer, I'm still going to give that a question mark only because we don't know if Edwin Diaz is back for real.
Okay, but come opening day, I'll be calling you with the trumpets on the other line. All right, I'm saying Edwin Diaz is back.
Yeah,
and then if he gives up a home run or two,
and when Edwin Diaz blows the first save of the year, I'm gonna call you with trumpets on the line.
It's gonna happen. I mean, every closer blows at least one.
Yeah.
Well,
we'll see.
And so Edwin Diaz, I'm giving him the nod.
You're picking
I'm giving
Diaz?
the closer the nod. Absolutely. Veteran closer.
I don't. The thing about the the injury was non-contact injury. Those are probably the scariest ones when it's a non-contact injury.
Don't jump on the guy when he gets a save. It's very simple. I mean, this is not hard.
No one jumped on him. He jumped on his own.
I believe they were jumping around. And, he landed on someone's ankle.
He landed on, there was a rock in the dirt.
Could have been a rock. Who knows? Let's see here. Last year, 2022, 32 saves. The year before, 32 saves. In 2020, the COVID year, 6 saves. 19, this was a bad year with the Mets, actually, where he couldn't figure it out. He had a 5.59 ERA, 26 saves. I don't think we're going to get back to that. The year before, 57 saves. I think Edwin Diaz is going to be a lock-in for about 30 saves, 35 saves next year. If they're playing better, maybe the high 30s. We'll see.
I mean, what do you guys think? Do you think Edwin Diaz is going to return the same? Do you think he might have lost a step, maybe lost a little bit of velocity? We'll see. What do you guys think? Do you give the nod to the Yankees closer, or are you going to go with the proven
You got to be
Edwin
crazy
Diaz?
if you give the nod to the Yankees for the closer role. But that's fine. I've heard crazier
injuries are
things.
part of the game. Some people don't return the same.
That's correct.
So we'll see. Anything else you want to bring up?
Yeah, spring training's moving. We're starting to see what players are doing. Your Yankees Soto is just crushing the ball.
Oh yes, exactly what he's
Crushing
supposed
the
to be
ball.
doing. That's why we got him.
Yes, Stanton not so much. Aaron Judge hasn't done much either this spring training, but then again, it is spring training, so I wouldn't worry about that too much unless he has a toe problem. But Alonso's hitting the ball on the Mets side. Francisco Alvarez is hitting the ball. The young kids are playing. Mark Vientos, he's hitting the ball. Brett Beatty hasn't really come around. He started off real slow, but he's starting to get his average up as well. So I'm excited to watch the little Mets do their thing.
I think, speaking of Stan, don't be surprised if he's struggling early. We call up Spencer Jones to come in, maybe fill in, a couple games here. He was crushing the ball.
The problem is, what do you do with Stanton?
If he's not hitting, what is he there for?
Well, they're not going to release the guy. They owe him a lot of money, something like $25 million. I mean, if he was like King Cohen, he may cut him and then keep the pay the salary.
King Cohen,
I'm just letting you know. King Cohen pays salaries and he tells them go bye. That's how he does it. If you're not performing, bye, and I'll pay your salary, no big deal. But the Steinbrenners right now are not like Mr. George Steinbrenner of old.
I feel like Stanton needs to perform. We can't have that big of... You're a designated hitter. Your only job is to hit the ball. Mm-hmm. You need to perform. You need to hit.
I agree. That's your only job. You're not going to play the outfield. You're not going to be called up in the 8th inning to pinch run. That's for sure. Right? You're not being asked to bunt.
Yeah.
All you got to do is hit the ball.
Maybe if we're getting blown out, we'll put him on the mound and he'll just lob it to the other team.
Yeah.
But
you may need to every time
if someone's not performing, you got to next man up. We can't waste games. Especially if he's not performing in big spots.
Yeah.
If runners in scoring position, he needs to put the ball in play.
Yeah. Aaron Judge, by the way, batting 167 with no home runs in spring training. Just giving you a heads up.
Spring training.
12 at bats.
12 at
bats.
It is a little concerning, but he's Aaron Judge.
Right.
We got to give him the benefit of the doubt. He'll turn it around.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let us know in the comments, guys. Who do you, I went with the Yankees, and so did Frankie for the starting pitching. Mm-hmm. Also the bullpen. The Yankees have a good bullpen every year. Although I'm giving the Yankees the nod for the starting pitching, I do not believe that they're that good. They're going to have a lot of question marks. I think that's going to be one of the main problems. Give it a few weeks, maybe a month and a half, and you're going to start seeing it. What we're going to do with Rodon, what we're going to do with Cortez. I believe that's going to be an issue. The bullpen, every year the Yankees have a good bullpen. I'm giving them the nod in the bullpen, the 6th, 7th, 8th inning. But I have to go with Edwin Diaz as closer. If you disagree, that's fine. You can leave a comment if you like, and we will respond.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, turn those post notification bells on, and we will catch you on the next one.